It's Tuesday, the 2nd of December, 2025. Welcome to the headline news analysis on FlowFM 92.7. Thank you so much for joining us, whether it's via the website or terrestrial radio. I appreciate you joining us on the analysis this morning. I'm not alone. As per usual, I have the in-house analyst with me today. Good morning to you, Nicholas.
Good morning.
How are you doing today, and how was your trip?
Wow.
It's good to have you back physically.
Yeah, Lagos was, that's the thing about Lagos, like I said the other time, that Lagos keeps changing. Mm-hmm. I had the opportunity of going into the Atlantic City, Eco Atlantic City for the first time. Because last time they were still building the place. I happened to have lived directly opposite the place when I was working with, National Mirror. So all those places you have vagrants and all manners of people. But what we see is a different skyline entirely. I had the opportunity of going to all those, looking around the architecture. You see a lot, the wholesale. It was more like that wasn't part. It wasn't part of Nigeria. I had a number of, expatriates that you see there, white guys. I mean, it was all over the places, and I think
sight.
it's big foresight on the part of Lagos State government. That is subsequent Lagos government. Envisioning that kind of a thing and putting it in place.
That's amazing. Glad you had that experience.
It is.
We're glad to have you back, though.
Thank you.
Welcome. All right, then. Of course, we have rules on the analysis. As per usual, we do not give in to any logical fallacies, and you have a space of 60 seconds, 1 minute, to make your comment. You can call on 0807-777-9927. Again, 0807-777-9927 to make your comment on any of the news stories, whether it's the one brought to you at 7 or anyone you see in the national dailies you'd like to talk about. You can definitely bring it up, and we get to analyze it. The views to be expressed is not in any way the position of FlowFM 92.7 or the staff therein, but is expressed by our in-house analyst and any individuals who call on the show this morning. Let's get right into it. And everybody's talking about it. It's a really big headline. Nigeria's Defense Minister Alhaji Muhammad Badara Abubakar has officially resigned from his position, citing health reasons. The resignation was confirmed by Bayo Onaniga, Special Advisor to President on Information and Strategy. The resignation was submitted in a letter dated December 1st to President Bola Tinubu, who has accepted the minister's decision and expressed gratitude for his service to the nation. President Tinubu is expected to announce Badara's successor to the Senate later this week. As announcement follows Tinubu's meeting with Christopher Musa, the immediate past Chief of Defense Staff, although it's unclear if the meeting was related to the ministerial vacancy. Now, let's start off with this. Is it really health reasons, or do you think there are other workings to his resignation?
I don't have a copy of his medical dossier.
Of course.
But that is a standard excuse for resignation. If you recall, was it about so many months ago, we had the national chairman of APC resigning on health grounds. That is Ganduje. And you have a lot of people resigning on health grounds and things like that. It's a standard response for, our explanation for stepping aside when you're under pressure. And let's not miss word. Badaru has been under intense pressure for quite a while on account of a poor leadership. Now, let us be very clear. There was poor leadership in the areas of, coordinating the defense ministry. And, of course, it was even unhelpful considering certain things he said recently about the Nigerian forest being too thick, to carpet bomb terrorists. And you see, I don't understand a man of his caliber with his travels and having risen to that level to even see that kind of a thing. Even a layman knows that is untenable. Where you have the thickest, 3-layer forest, there has been use of bomb. You have a case of Vietnam. You have a case of the Amazon forest in Colombia. I think there is one other instances that I read about, where you have a forest that is, Nigeria is nowhere near in terms of thickness, but those places were bombed when you were bombed to scare the insurgents. I mean to remove the insurgents that were taking cover under those forests. So for him to say that kind of a thing to the media openly tells you how much of a square peg in a round hole he was in that ministry.
Okay, let me ask this: do you think that his non-military background played a role?
No, I don't think so.
Or in any way affected his capacity to...
No. Okay. I think the problem is the lack of capacity, inherent lack of capacity within him. I wonder, he used to be, well, he was a governor, and that is why it's so shocking. Let me give you a very good example. You see, at the advent, when Boko Haram started, we had that is a minister of defense that was a woman, Obada. Is he Obada? Yeah, I think Minister of Defense from Osun State. I think the name is Obada. And under that, that was the first, it was a comprehensive response to Boko Haram insurgency in Borno. And, doing a post-mortem.
Obada.
Obada, yeah. She coordinated that ministry effectively. In fact, it was under her that they created the special forces, and there was policy coordination under her. And if you recall, with the benefit of insight, what was the name of this man? Buba Galadima. Buba Galadima recently on Arise Television came out and said that the fighting of insurgency under Goodluck Jonathan, when that minister was there, was about the most comprehensive. You understand? That is a woman that was never even a governor. No, why I made reference to him being a governor is because he's been used to being the chief security officer of a state, a whole state in the north, where the insurgency is highest. Was it Yobe? Yeah, I believe so. So that kind of a person coming up to say that kind of a thing, I think is unpardonable. And it is as well that he resigned, All
right. Let's take a call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. What is your name and where are you calling from, please?
My name is Ilorin. I'm calling from Amsterdam.
Timline from Amsterdam. Please go ahead with your comment.
Thank you. Hi, Danielle.
Good morning to you.
He's been sacked, not resigned. He's a misfit there. Thank you.
Yeah, that is probably what a lot of Nigerians will say. Yeah. There are subtle ways of, giving someone the boot. You give him the honorable boot. That is, you tell him to resign, or you summarily dismiss him and announce he's a sack. But whichever way it is, but I think it's good riddance to bad rubbish. Let's be very clear,
All right. So part of the report mentioned General Christopher Musa's visit to Tinubu last night. What do you see happening here?
Well, it might be a kind of consultation. Don't forget, to a very large extent, that man, in my opinion, happens to be one of the most effective defense ministry, defense chief that we have. Not only in the way he attacked the issues. If you recall, his policy statements have been, has been bullseye, direct, telling you, and the kind of rhetorics. I think there was a lot of pressure that was brought to bear on the presidency to ease him out. This is just my opinion. This is what I believe. But I think we have a call.
Yes,
okay,
we do. Let's take a call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah,
good morning to you. What is your name and where are you calling from, please?
This is Michael from George's Quarters.
Michael from
George's Quarters.
George's Quarters.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Is it the issue of Mashawali? I work in Zamfara very well. The bandit crossed from his village near Bakaluri Dam. So this man, I don't think there's nothing he can do as Minister for Defense other than to aid all the bandits. If you see on top of the Bakaluri Dam, if you see the bandit across the water, and he's widely accused severally of sponsoring them. It's quite unfortunate for Nigerian picking that kind of a person. Somebody becoming a governor does not say he's intelligent. No, it's purely politics. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we see vis-a-vis, Matawali too. There has been a lot of, allegations against him. That while he held sway, he patronized a lot of these bandits. And those are very, very strong allegations. And the man hasn't done anything to dispel such rumor. And as a matter of fact, the incumbent governor has been pointing at him as one of the major problem of Zamfara. So these are allegations. We are not, we don't know the truth of it. But you see, when allegations are made by people that name themselves and are credible people, and there has been no refutation over time, it becomes what we call notorious fact in philosophy and logic. Facts that are not disputed, that is information that are not disputed, you have allowed to stay for a long time. You understand? So when those things are, it keeps on, it doesn't do well for his image and the image of the ministry, and to a very large extent, I think that for the first time, we have seen the president taking a very firm stand. Don't forget that he declared a state of emergency.
Yeah.
He declared a state of emergency. And do you know what state of emergency means? A very good example is what happened in Rivers State. It means you suspend certain laws. You understand? So, to tackle it. So, the ministry is directly under his purview right now. So, he can do as he pleases. You understand?
Let's take another call. Hello, good morning. Hello? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, definitely. And like you mentioned, but Christopher Mustafa was at the, to see the president recently. We don't know whether he's been tapped to replace, but I think there is a consultation going on. I think that given the man's, pedigree and what he was able to do in just 2 years, I think that kind of a man is not what you just let go. No.
Yeah, but in that same vein, we have, some Nigerians believing that the president will be making the right choice by appointing General Christopher Musa as, based off of he has about 33 years in military experience.
For me, yes, a lot of people might tend to think that, but it doesn't make it necessarily right. For me, exactly. You see, because sometimes what you need is a fresh pair of eyes. Okay. In a situation where you've been repeating the same methodology, what you need is to think outside the box. Christopher Musa, as much as I like him, as much as I like his pedigree, I still think that that should be just one consideration. We can think about getting somebody that can look at the whole scenario with a fresh pair of eyes. Somebody that is outside that loop. So he is not encumbered.
Would the person also be required to have the same amount of experience? Because experience matters as well, doesn't it?
Experience matters. You see, say for instance, I'll give you a very good example. There used to be this expert I know that knows virtually everything, but he's never been a soldier. But what he has done is to provide intelligence for security agencies and things like that. That person has put in close to 25 years in doing things like, so he can tell you virtually everything about every military thing within West Africa. You understand? He has a historical, then he has access to people who can give real-time intelligence. You have a lot of people like that are Nigerians that can tell you so many things that even you that are within that system does not, does not know. You understand? So that kind of a person is shielded from the politics, intra-politics of that place. So that kind of a person can bring in fresh ideas, okay.
That's what you thought. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. What's your name, please? Hello.
Hello. What's the name?
Could you state that again? The network is really bad. Please do also try to connect back. We're unable to hear you. 0807-777-9927. Please land your thought.
Yeah. So that is number one. Then two, there is another option. For me, I will go for a top-notch operative that has been embedded in the DSS for a very, very long time. Okay. You understand? Or even DMI. Not known, insulated from the politics of hierarchy and the rest of them, that is only attributable to the president. Then he will be able to give a concise, impersonal opinion about certain policies,
Okay. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Okay.
Okay, please go ahead with your comment.
Yes. Christopher Musa Bahan for our defense security architecture. That being said, I think he still needs to go on and recall other generals too to a roundtable meeting, because you remember on this same platform a few weeks ago we said that some SAC generals should be recalled and have a round meeting with them, because if you see our insecurity, they are being coordinated, meaning that the people who are directing these bandits have some certain information about our security architecture. So Mr. President is on the right track. He should go ahead and recall past generals that have been on the contrary, the roundtable meeting. That way you have more robust what is going on in our security. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think I have an idea of what he's saying.
Yeah, because
what he's saying is that there is internal saboteurs, and we are not accusing our ex-generals, but what we're saying is that there is a likelihood that people who have inner knowledge of how the military operates in Nigeria are feeding the wrong guys information. And usually when you do things like this, is to profile virtually all retirees and people who have a reason to be angry with the system. You understand? So a man like Christopher Musa is in the best position to coordinate such and bring them on to, look, whatever you have, this is our country, there is a need. And, bring in necessary inputs, to see how this thing can be, how we can kill this thing once and for all, All
right. 0807-777-9927 is the number to call or to send a message to on WhatsApp. Let's move to another story, but also really largely relating to security. And it's homegrown. We're quite literally directly affected by this. The Northern Governors Forum has announced plans to establish a multi-billion-naira regional security trust fund. The decision was made following a joint security meeting of the 19 Northern Governors and the Traditional Rulers Council held in Kaduna, where leaders discussed issues affecting both the region and the country. According to the communique issued after the meeting, each of the 19 northern states, in collaboration with local governments, is expected to contribute 1 billion naira monthly to the Security Trust Fund. What do you think about this? And is it sustainable? 1 billion naira monthly?
I think it's a very robust plan.
Okay.
And I think one other aspect of that meeting was that they endorsed the state police thing. And for me, I think if there is any region that can start off its state police thing almost immediately, it's the northern part of it, because there is a kind of, they tend to be more cohesive, policy-wise, and in terms of, they have more of homogeneity to a large extent, and there is that likelihood that, they have a shared experience that can allow them to agree more easily, so, and again, for a very long time, the other parts of Nigeria have always felt that the problem with state police is that the North have never really bought into it. That is why it has been stalled over time. But now we're having a clear-cut, endorsement of that plan. So for me, I will be looking out for what happens in the next few months.
Now that they've endorsed it?
That they've endorsed it, because that is where I had my concerns,
Okay. Let's take a call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. What is your name and where are you calling from, please?
My name is Abdurrashid. I'm calling from Okelele.
Abdurrashid from
Okelele.
Please go ahead with your comment.
In this Nigeria, there are more things now in Nigeria. The government cannot assist us. Until the back of the nation, they will know that they will help our life. Somebody is helping license until they break, before you know that you not feel sleeping. You not be happy because you don't have security. Please. Okay. Like now, they say that these SARS peoples is not checking phone, but immediately they stop testing. Or you bring your phone. What is the meaning, sir? You know, you understand. Yeah. That means it's not more checking. Okay, see. I was passing through this place, Igi Road.
Okay.
You have to let the boy to come down from the bike, even pushing him, dragging him to go inside the vehicle. That thing all vex me. I said, what is happening in Nigeria? Okay, we should not more come out outside, or we should stay in the house, or we should not go work. It's not good. What the SARS is doing is not good. If they not come cause confusion in Nigeria now, okay, now the people who stand with them, they will say that they're no more respecting those false man causing the confusion.
All right.
Yeah. Well, Abdul Rashid, I quite get the point. Yeah. Pain about what the police, are doing. You see, I think a larger part of that problem stems from, like I said, I think that our police are not properly deployed. You understand? And then largely they are underpaid and overstretched. Then again, I think it equally
and
goes
that's what
through.
makes them
Yeah.
act the way they do.
That's what makes them. Then the kind of training they get. I think the kind of training we get are those same training they give, the colonial police. So it fits from that colonial mentality. When the Nigerian police was created by the colonial master, it was essentially to protect imperial powers, nothing more. So they handed it over to the Nigerian leaders, and without creating a people's police, we started using the same ordinance and the same structure. So that's why over time, rather than having a people-oriented police, we have a kind of police that is more of a jackboot kind of, they have a jackboot mentality. But you see, there could be, the state police might just be an out for everybody.
Okay.
You understand? That is where every state, according to its peculiarity, and the constitution of the direct, will create its own police. That is why I keep on arguing against those people who say that the Nigerian police will be used by governors and blah, 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 and the rest of them. I said, no, that it offers us an opportunity to do what is right. So if at the grassroots level we started doing what is right, then maybe the best of them, gradually, if they decide to do a transfer of service, decide to go to state police, you understand? What do you get is that you gradually replace them with, the old ones that, that gives us the kind of nightmare that Abdul Rashid was describing on the highway. You understand?
How do you, what kind of training would you, because you just mentioned, having a state police that is tailored to the needs of the people of that particular state.
Yeah.
What kind of training would they need what kind of training do you think they would need to have that mentality?
Number one, the entry point matters. What is the entry point for, a constable, for instance? School start. I think that is way too Neanderthal for a country like Nigeria. You understand? For me, I will peg it at the very least is ND, diploma, NCE.
Okay.
The moment you don't have that, you don't get into the Nigerian police. Then two, the recruitment mood. How do you recruit them? You don't recruit them by asking people to bring their candidates. No. I think the police hierarchy must go out to source for suitable candidates that will be loyal only to the system and not to anybody.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Back to the 19 Northern Governors and the Trust Fund we were talking about earlier. This Trust Fund, what's the implementation of it going to be like?
I think they will come up with a modality. I think that the mere fact that they have created that trust shows that they already have the mechanism of, managing it. You see, it's going to be like, probably be like this regional commissions that you have, that will have a chairman managing the fund. Then they have representation from all the states, they might call them commissioners or just delegates that will be part of that commission. This is to administer the disbursement of the funds, procurement of equipment, and the rest, as needed by each state. You understand? And of course, training and retraining. They can even decide to create a regional, regional police academy where they train, police from different states, to be able to enforce, enforce a law and order with synergy,
And also, fingers crossed, we don't hear of mismanagement or...
no, you see that it's a human thing. Anywhere you have money, you always have somebody that would have to dip his hand into the, into the till. You always have things like that. But there are mechanisms for, protecting your money.
Such.
Mm-hmm.
0807-777-9927. Before we round off real quick, let's pick up this story, but let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. Could you say that again, please?
My name is Theo from Texaco.
Okay.
Fair from Texaco.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, it's a welcome idea. Welcome to the push.
Fair, if you don't mind, could you speak up? Could you speak up a bit more so we can hear you clearly, please?
Yeah. Okay. I said I support the state police thing.
All right. Thank you.
I think it will help with it.
Hello? Oh.
Well, okay.
What we are having in the police sector now, is it not going to still come up when state policing comes up, where we'll have the governors teletubbing state policing, putting them, because they are under their coffers, making them do their own bidding, not the state's bidding. Except I don't know how they want to create the state police if it is not being infiltrated out of the normal police force. Because if you get state police from the police force itself, we are still going in circles. Because I know they are good police, but the other ones that are rotten would still decay the ones that are being merged from state policing. Thank you very much.
All right. That's true. Is it?
Well, you see, I have a very I know that. You see, there's a very simple analogy for this. At the judiciary, we have the federal courts and the state high courts. The federal high court, state high court. You understand? So why don't we see this overt and covert control of the judiciary, in the states, as it were? Why don't we see it? Why is it not so profuse? You see, it's so because there are entrenched rules that manages the courts. At the end of the day, they are subjected to the NJI, or NJC, that is Nigeria National Judicial Commission. You understand? You can have at the federal level, even the national police can still monitor the state police. You can see that is at some level, but the chief security officer, the de facto and the jure chief security officer of the state will then be the governor. That is what we are saying. That is the only difference. As it is right now, the governor can decide to give an order to the chief, the commissioner of police, and the commissioner of police will refuse. You understand? And say he has to take orders from the IG. So when you need real-time, response, that does not. And what is happening here is that we need a real-time response to insecurity. Yeah, exactly. And it's not coming. It's not forthcoming.
Let's take a comment real quick. Good morning, FlowFM. Before and immediately after independence, we had the Nigerian police and the NE police, aka Dandoka. They were operating side by side, with each limiting their powers to their boundaries. The Ministry of Defense must be headed with retired and experienced security experts in the Army, Navy, Air Force, NIA, DIA, and SSS. Just like you had said. All right. Let's touch on this story just before we round off. We have the governor of Osun State resigning from the PDP. Yeah. Did you see it coming?
Of course. If you recall, there has been a lot of issues with PDP. And don't forget, there was a time he wanted to go to APC, but for some reason
he wasn't. So what other party do you think
there are lots of options open for him.
Okay.
There is a Accord party, but even though I know that there's a lot of issues there is, of course, ADC too.
You see success for him there?
Well, I don't know. But of course, that's the thing about politics. He's playing it real close to the chest. He's not saying it, he's not giving anything away. But the mere fact that he resigned from PDP tells you that he also has an option.
All right, your closing thoughts in a few seconds, please.
Yeah, well, so far so good. Things are looking tip-top for us. And I think the president has a unique opportunity of really taking a firm control of the security situation in the country, especially what with the declaration of emergency in that sector.
Let's hope he takes it then. Yeah. All right, thank you so much for joining us on the Headline News Analysis. The views expressed is not in any way the position of FlowFM 92.7, the staff therein, but is expressed by our in-house analyst, Nicholas, and the individuals who called on the show this morning. I'm Danielle Shitta-Bey. Have a great Tuesday.
For my first outside in-law house visit, it remains swallow.